parties could get behind that. Take a look at the crisis at our border. Record numbers of illegal immigrants are now coming across. Children's being trafficked and raped in large numbers. Our own Sarah Carter's been down there time after time after time reporting on this. Fentanyl, heroin, meth, cocaine, lethal drugs pouring across that border, killing more Americans than ever before. But because border security is now, considered racist in the Democratic Party, and they aid and abet the law breaking, the Biden is now doing nothing to stop what is going on down there. It is being run by cartels. They're not stopping the death, the sexual assaults, the suffering, the drug trafficking, the human trafficking. Well, yesterday, Senator Ted Cruz, he confronted Biden's Homeland Security Secretary, Mayorkas, on this very issue. Let's take a look.
Has the crisis at our southern border made Americans less safe, yes or no?
Senator, we are dedicated to the safety.
Has the crisis made Americans less safe? I don't want a discourse. It's a yes or no question.
Senator, we have a challenge of...
You refuse to answer the question. How many children have been sexually assaulted by human traffickers under the Biden administration?
Senator, this is precisely why we instituted...
I don't want a lecture. It's a question. How many children have been sexually assaulted by human traffickers under your administration?
Senator, this is exactly why on January 5th, we announced
do you know how many? Do you know how many children have been sexually assaulted?
This is why we...
Okay, you're going to refuse to answer that question as well. Mr. Secretary, I want to say to you right now, your behavior is disgraceful, and the deaths, the children assaulted, the children raped, they are at your feet, and if you had integrity, you would resign. And I will tell you, the men and women of the Border Patrol, they've never had a political leader undermine them. They despise you, Mr. Secretary, because you're willing to let children be raped to follow political orders.
Wow. Powerful. Joining us now, Texas Senator Ted Cruz is with us. Senator, welcome. You're getting a standing ovation. Thank you, Senator. So I've been down on the border myself, all the way from the Rio Grande to San Diego, probably 15 times. Horseback, helicopters, boats, on foot, on horseback. I've done it all. We know Sarah Carter has been down there. They know everything that you said to Mayorkas is proven to be true. The cartels run this. And the issue about young children being raped, we did an entire report about it with one witness after another, and even physical evidence that Sarah Carter was able to obtain. The drugs, the fentanyl, all of it's happening. And you know what? Not only is Mayorkas incompetent, they're aiding, abetting, and helping the effort by allowing it to happen. They don't have to allow that.
Sean, that is exactly right. They are allowing it because they've made a political choice. At the beginning of the Biden administration, they decided unlimited illegal immigration, open borders. They view every one of the 5.5 million illegal immigrants who's come in under Joe Biden as a future Democrat voter. And so they're perfectly willing to turn a blind eye. They don't care about the children who are physically assaulted, who are sexually assaulted. They don't care about the women who are raped. They don't care about the dead bodies that are piling up. You know, when I took a group of senators down there, we saw a dead body of an immigrant floating who had drowned in the Rio Grande. I've sat there with Texas farmers who show me photographs of pregnant women and elderly people and toddlers left to die in the Texas desert. They don't care. It's a deliberate choice. And I got to say, Mayorkas, number one, that entire hearing, he refused to answer a single question. You couldn't ask him what day it was or what time of day it was. He had this arrogance of how dare you question me. And I got to say, of the whole thing, the most astonishing moment is in that last clip you played. Next to me was a poster board with pictures of a whole series of wristbands. And I asked him, I said, Mr. Secretary, what are these wristbands?
What a moment this was. Explain what those wristbands are.
So he answered and said, I don't know what they are. And I got to admit, that astonished me. I couldn't have imagined that was the case. Those are the wristbands, as you know, Sean, that just about every illegal immigrant wears on their wrists, and the cartels give it to them. They are color-coded for how many thousands of dollars that those individuals owe the cartels. And for thousands upon thousands of those little boys, they get sent to cities all across America by Mayorkas and by Biden, and they work for the cartels. They're criminals in cities all over America. And for a great many of the teenage girls, they get sent into sex slavery. These bracelets, they're modern-day leg irons.
Wow.
And to see the head of Homeland Security say, he doesn't even know what they are. This guy doesn't give a damn. It's why at the end I said if you had a shred of integrity, you would resign right now. But he doesn't. He's willing to put politics over the lives that are being lost, including the over 100,000 Americans killed last year from overdoses. He's not willing to do a thing to stop it, and even worse, he's going to continue the policies that are causing these tragedies.
And I would bet, knowing that we have already caught many people on the terror watch list, that
Yes.
people on that list have made it across, meaning we have terror cells right here in America. What frustrates me, Senator, the most when I talk about this issue is the fact that they keep lying. We're
Yes.
going to have, by the end of this year, well over 6 million illegal immigrants in this country because Joe Biden is allowing them into the country, but they keep telling us that the border is secure. The border is not secure. You got in and got pictures of children in cages. We tried to send our cameras down there. They were turned around every single time. You shared the evidence in the video with this show, and you know what? They denied it was happening until we had the evidence. So how do they say with a straight face that the border is secure?
Look, their strategy is just hide. If you watch Fox News, if you watch a handful of right-of-center outlets, you can find out the truth about what's happening. But if you watch CNN, if you watch MSNBC or ABC, CBS, NBC, there is no border crisis. They don't cover it. And it says something that the Democrats, they don't even try to defend this, because you can't look at the facts. It used to be Democrats would preen around and say they're humane, they're compassionate, they just care more. You know, they don't do that anymore, because if you actually look at what's happening, you cannot defend this disaster. And so their entire plan is built on the complicity of the corporate media. I got to say, after this hearing, after Mayorkas couldn't answer anything, most of the corporate media completely ignored the hearing. They just pretended it didn't happen. Now, I will give you a moment, a glimmer of hope, perhaps. It's something I talked about today in my podcast, Verdict with Ted Cruz. In the middle of the hearing, when Mayorkas is getting lit up, he turned to the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin, the very partisan Democrat from Illinois, and he said, "Mr. Chairman, will you help me?" And I've spent 11 years on Judiciary with Durbin. He's very smart. He's very partisan. He loves to fight with me. He and I have gone 15 rounds, more times than I can count. It's the only time in 11 years I've seen Durbin decline an invitation. He just sat back and kind of shrugged. And I got to say, I took that, Sean, as Senate Democrats realizing, we're in a bad spot on this disaster at the southern border, and we're leaving. And basically he was saying to Mayorkas, you're on your own, and I think they are getting ready to throw him overboard, fire him, and then try to blame everything on him. Now, they don't intend to change anything, but they want him to be the one who takes the blame in order to insulate Biden and Kamala Harris and all the Senate Democrats.
That giggling Vice President border czar has not been too effective, and they haven't been down there, and they don't know what you know and I know and Sarah Carter knows and the people in Texas and Arizona and other states know. Senator,
Absolutely.
very powerful day. Thank you. We appreciate you being with us.